Alright, so we have the top 5 positive ads for the Super Bowl. One is Xbox 10. We have the Madden games playing with the Super Bowl matchup. Pretty cool for Generation Y. David Beckham, he's a great household name, sponsoring for the H&M bodywear. So he holds a place in Europe as well as the United States. People know him. He's a great soccer player and good for Generation Y. Bud Light had a great thing on their ad on Times Square with YouTube. YouTube and Generation Y are hand in hand, so that's a good thing to have there. Papa John's car. The Papa John's car was featured in the commercial, so that's pretty cool to draw a crowd. And the Bud Light Stay in the Game. Bud Light Stay in the Game basically didn't emphasize the weather, just told you what drink to have in your hand when you're watching the game. Alright, so next up we got the negative top 5 ads, well, which would be the bottom 5. Number 1, we have a hashtag that was an ad, Ditch the Typical. We looked for that hashtag on Twitter, looked on Google, couldn't find anything. I think that's probably like one of the worst advertisements you can have when your Google search doesn't bring up anything for your ad. 2, Pepsi's going to be a cold game. Pepsi, we know it's going to be a cold game. It's in New York in the middle of the winter. We understand. We don't need you to keep telling us. 3, we have SAP. SAP is pretty much a heavy sponsor of the NFL, but we have no clue what they're doing. It doesn't resonate to Generation Y, so sorry there. NFL Rush Zones for the Guardian Unleashed. I'm not 12, so I don't know what that is. And Dale Earnhardt Tag Slayer. One problem with that is it's too target specific, and it's the wrong place at the wrong time. This is the Super Bowl, and it's not NASCAR.
Top 5 positive commercials during the Super Bowl broadcast. First off, we have SodaStream, which was a commercial with Scarlett Johansson. It was a beautiful lady and a beautiful commercial, and they really worked well together. After that, we had the Sonos commercial. It was an amazing commercial. You saw the sound system with all these different colors, and it really was able to let you visualize what was going on with the sound system, so it was a cool commercial. The Budweiser commercial had a commercial with a puppy and a horse where it really tugged on your heartstrings because it was hard to see them get split up all the time. But then it was nice to see them get together at the end, so that was cool. The Tim Tebow commercial was great because it was a play on the whole fact that he doesn't have a contract right now and all the stuff that was going on at the beginning of the season. I thought T-Mobile was really smart for utilizing him since he is such a popular brand right now too. And Radio Shack put out this amazing commercial where they really showed that they're not your grandpa's store anymore. They're revitalizing and revamping everything that's going on in their stores. So I thought that was pretty cool also. The top 5 negative commercials. Now, some of these commercials I thought were truly atrocious and they didn't belong in the Super Bowl to begin with. First off, we got the Scientology commercial, which when we think about Generation Y, one of the furthest things I think of is Scientology because it's a religion or belief for rich people like Tom Cruise and John Travolta. The Bob Dylan Chrysler commercial, I didn't even recognize that it was Bob Dylan. My mom recognized that it was Bob Dylan, so it's kind of outside of Generation Y's scope again. The Smart Car is not really commercial, was not really a brand or of a car that the Generation Y really thinks of. We really think of like a Honda or Chrysler or a Toyota or something that's more in our price range. The Subway Enchilada Sandwich commercial just basically looked like a really disgusting, unhealthy, like totally opposite thing than what Subway would normally do. So that was just an awful commercial. And the Maserati commercial to end it all was one of the most outrageous commercials I've ever seen that totally not only did it not apply to Generation Y, but it didn't apply to the entire demographic that's involved of the the millions of people that are watching the Super Bowl. So those would be the top 5 worst commercials that we saw during the broadcast.
Alright, so the creative marketing suggestions for Super Bowl 49, we broke that down into 3 categories. Course number 1, we have beverages. The Super Bowl is going to be played in Glendale, Arizona, one of the hottest temperatures you can have a Super Bowl, and it's outside, so beverage companies, make sure you emphasize how cold and refreshing your drinks are. Show the refreshing friendship and hangout ads. We want to see that along with the alcoholic beverages. Give us the beach, the barbecue, and the picnic bombs. You want to make sure we see the camaraderie of the game. Snacks is another category we have. Doritos, we love your ads. Tired of seeing kids being launched in the air. You have fiery habanero chips, so let's try to add something with that. Maybe introduce a new product line, salsa, Dorito chips and Dorito salsa. Give us something new. Next category is technology. As far as technology goes, it's pretty much stay in your lane. You don't need to worry about the Super Bowl, where it's going to be played, or the weather. Just give us a powerful message and we'll get the ad. All right, and the last question we have here is, why is the Super Bowl the biggest marketing event in sports? Well, simply for that, because this Super Bowl is 1 day, 3 hours, and 30 seconds, as opposed to NBA, NHL, and MLB for 7 games, 2 weeks.